Hello everyone, this is a video providing details over the Seatrek in Corsica. Corsica is an island of France, the southern island, close to Sardinia and close to Italy. The Seatrek happens in the southern part of Corsica, next to the city of Bonifacio, that you can see here. It starts in the airport of Figari and ends in the beach area of Piantarella on the east coast. The Seatrek can be extended for another 2 to 3 days all the way up to other beaches or other areas and provide a way back to the airport through the countryside all the way up to here. The distance involved are about 30 kilometers swim along the coast, so over 5 or 6 days. The best time for the trail is end of May and early June or beginning of September for water temperature reasons as well as touristic reasons. Corsica is a touristic place and Bonifacio is a very pretty area, and therefore there are quite a lot of motorboats in this area of the trek. However, it's the most beautiful area, so it's not to be missed. So May, June, September are the best moments to do this trek. So the trek starts in the airport, through the village, directly onto the coast, anywhere around here. And for the first day of the trek, the first section, it's a swim for about 4 kilometers along a very simple coast, deep end area, all the way to the beach. So it's a good initiation day to get you comfortable with the equipment. Now the exit point in La Tonera is very easy. It's a very sheltered beach. There are islands that you can swim around and explore and practice free diving. And in terms of bivouacking, it's easy to find a flat area on the top of these hills or between those hills as well. The second day is more challenging. It's about a 5-kilometer swim along a more rugged coast. So this section here is fairly rugged. It is a granitic coastline with very few exit areas and very few beaches. The dominant wind are from the west, and the swell and the waves also come from the west. And so this is the reason this is more challenging, with only 2 exit points that are really practical. This beach area here and those tiny beaches that are completely sheltered from wind and wave due to their nature here. It's sort of a small channel. There is a lighthouse also at the tip end, which makes for an interesting scenery in the evening for bivouacking. So for bivouacking, it's easy as well to find flat areas. You can see some trails here. However, there aren't many hikers, and you can easily find an isolated place or beach to bivouac after sunset. The third day will be easier. It is also a 4 to 5 kilometer swim. However, this time you will be swimming with the waves and with the wind pushing you. So you're swimming along granite rocks. The sea life and the seabed becomes more interesting with some sandy areas and some rocky areas. And you eventually swim into a very calm, pristine and turquoise waters, where you will find also a lot more sea life with crabs, rays on sandy bottoms, as well as school of fishes. This beach in particular marks the transition from the granitic area into the white clay area. So the cliff section starts here and continues for a good section of the rest of the sea track. You can see the difference here. Fazio Beach provides another good spot for swimming, calm waters, turquoise waters, as well as good bivouacking areas in and around the beach, on here, for example, or over there. Now the next day is really a highlight of the trail, with the cliffs becoming higher and the water caves forming. So you can see all along this section a number of caves outside the water, but there are also hidden caves underneath the water. Some caves are very large, and this cave, for example, also has its roofs collapsed, so when you are inside the cave you can see the sky through the opening. Now this section, crossing the channel from Bonifacio Harbour, needs to be done preferably in the morning or in the evening to avoid too many motorboats coming in and out of the harbour. Okay, so it's about a 600 meter swim section, so about 8 to 10 minutes swim, so you have to be very vigilant when you cross this section. But the last part of the swim for the day, which is in total about 4 kilometers, with this final section being only about 1 kilometer, is one of the highlights, with the high cliffs and the city overhanging the water. So there are sections like here where you can virtually be just underneath the city above you. So it's a really pleasant swim with a lot of fallen rocks that provide good opportunities for free diving in and around those rocks. The sea life is also interesting along here, with a lot of school of fishes and colored fish also playing around. There is only one exit point at this stage. It's a pebble beach, which you have to be careful not to miss. It's quite small, and it's the only exit point before a number of kilometers. There's no bivouacking, but there is a campsite really close from the city center, which you can walk to and is very convenient. The next section of the swim takes you swimming right along the cliff, the highest cliff of the region, about 120 meters above sea level. So it's very scenic, but you have to be careful to be comfortable with this type of swim, where there are very few exit areas, and depending on the weather you have to be careful not to be taken against the cliff. So depending on wind and wave, you have to carefully plan your swim. There is one section where you can exit safely, is here, halfway through the swim of the day, so about 2 kilometers from Bonifacio. However, this is a flat rock section, and if there are waves crashing on those rocks, then it makes for an unsafe exit as well. So, however, it's a good playground with a few caves to explore, and as well as those flat rocks, which are really interesting to swim swim around and swim across. The day is also extremely interesting with the most sea life. The most dynamic environment is the tip end of Corsica, the Cap Percesato. You see a number of sea caves as well as some that are only accessible by the sea, with some secret beaches within those caves as well. So you can see this area is very interesting and you can spend a lot of time exploring here. The exit is on this beach, which is completely sheltered from wind and waves, as you can see, and there are lots of bivouacking opportunities. For example, I myself bivouacked right under this rock and it provided me with a good view of the next day section as well as all the way to Bonifacio. The last day of the trail is straightforward and easy. The coastline becomes granitic again with small beach, secret beaches and small beaches area leading into a very sandy and turquoise water around Piantarella beach. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, the trek can be extended for 2 to 3 days, reaching higher part of the coast, going around this peninsula which is inhabited, all the way to this beach and making your way back to the airport through the countryside, all the way to Figari here. I hope it was useful and talk to you soon.